Hey guys, glad you're here. Seriously. Today, we've got some absolutely wild stories. Like, what did I just listen to? Kind of wild. As always, Minecraft's running in the background. I'm here telling you real stuff from Reddit. And you? Just sit back, relax, maybe eat something, and vibe with me. Let's get into it. I swear on whatever gods are listening. I didn't mean to start a war with the ducks. So a few months ago, my neighbour moved out and left behind this weird kiddie pool. Just one of those bright blue plastic ones, slightly cracked, sitting sadly in the middle of their overgrown backyard. For some reason, the local ducks, yes, actual ducks, decided this was now their vacation home. Every morning, I'd look out the window and there they were, just chilling. Sometimes 5, sometimes 20. I don't even live near a lake. Where were they coming from? I have no idea, but whatever. I named them. Gerald, Flapjack, Susan, Big Terry, and so on. Harmless fun. But then I made the mistake. The capital M mistake. I posted a photo of the ducks on Reddit. Caption, "My new neighbours seem chill." It got like 200 upvotes. Pretty standard. But then I got this DM from a user called Duckfather3000. All it said was, "They are not yours. Leave them be." I laughed. Obvious troll, right? So I posted another pic the next day. Ducks sitting in a circle like they were having a board meeting. Caption, "Plotting something. I'm scared." That's when it began. First, the bread, so much bread. My porch was covered in it one morning, like someone had just rage dumped 10 loaves of Wonder Bread all over my welcome mat. Weird, but okay. Then the quacking. I don't mean, "Oh, how cute, the ducks are talking." No, I mean chanting. Every night at exactly 3:17 a.m, the ducks would gather in the yard and start quacking. In rhythm, like Gregorian monk ducks. Quack, quack, quack. I started losing sleep. I tried calling animal control. They laughed. I tried spraying vinegar. Made it worse. I even bought a fake plastic alligator head from Amazon and floated it in the kiddie pool. They carried it away. I watched them do it. Like 6 ducks lifted it together and slowly waddled into the woods with it. I haven't seen it since. Then came the threats. One morning, I found a note, a literal paper note, pinned to my front door with a bread knife. It just said, "Stop posting. We see you." And it was signed with a single duck feather. So I stopped. Cold turkey. No more photos, no more jokes. I even apologized, like a psycho, out loud, to the ducks, just in case they were watching. They were. Things calmed down a little after that, until last Tuesday. I came home from work to find Gerald, my favourite duck, inside my house. I don't even know how he got in. The windows were locked. The doors were locked. And yet there he was, sitting on my couch, watching YouTube, on my TV, the video, a TED talk about surveillance drones. I froze. He looked at me. I looked at him. He quacked once, and then flew through the living room window. Glass everywhere. Shattered. Gone. That was the final straw. I snapped. I went outside, looked the ducks dead in the eye. As a group, they were all waiting. And I said, "You win. I'm moving. Congrats on the house." They didn't respond, just stared. And then, I kid you not, Gerald slowly raised one wing and did the slow clap motion. The rest joined in, like a duck golf clap. I moved 2 days later. My new place is nice. No ducks, just squirrels. Which is fine. I like squirrels, except this morning, I found a single duck feather on my windowsill. No note, no quacking, just the feather. I don't sleep anymore. I don't even know what's scarier, ducks with brains, or the fact that I kind of started rooting for Gerald like he wasn't even that bad. All right, enough quacking. The next one's even crazier. This next story? So absurd, it'll make you want to check your house for hidden cameras. Let's get into it. Okay, so I think my toaster is spying on me. I know how that sounds. But please, let me explain. It started 3 weeks ago when I noticed my toaster had a weird reflection, like not normal stainless steel shiny. It was too reflective, almost glossy. It gave off that vibe like it was trying too hard to be invisible. Anyway, I didn't think too much of it until one morning I walked into my kitchen and saw the toaster facing the wrong direction. You know how toasters don't move, right? They're heavy. They just sit there. You don't turn your back and come back to find it looking directly at you. But I swear, it was turned. The slots were aimed straight at where I usually stand when I make coffee. I thought maybe I bumped it the night before. No big deal. Until it happened again. And again. Then one morning, I came in and the toaster was gone. Like, not just turned, but missing. I thought someone broke in. I checked every room. Eventually, I found it. In my bedroom closet. Sitting there. Plugged in. To what? There's no outlet in that closet. And yet, there was the cord, just disappearing into the drywall. I freaked out. I unplugged it. I stuffed it in a box. I bought a new toaster. For about 48 hours, everything felt normal again. Until the light bulb in my bathroom started flickering. Not normal flickering. Morse code flickering. I looked it up. Translated it. It said, "Why did you replace me?" I thought, okay, haha, I'm clearly sleep deprived. Maybe I watched too many Black Mirror episodes. I threw out the new toaster. I didn't want to risk it. I went back to the old one, dusted it off, plugged it in, said sorry like a damn idiot. The flickering stopped. Everything seemed okay again. Until my smart speaker started playing toast-related YouTube videos in the middle of the night. Not even good ones, just 12-hour loops of toast popping up in slow motion. Then I got an email. From a Gmail I didn't recognize. No subject line. Just a single image attached. It was me. Eating toast. Yesterday morning. From above. The angle was impossible. There's no camera there. Or so I thought. I started checking every corner of my house. I even took apart the smoke detector. Nothing. Then I looked inside the toaster. There it was, a tiny black lens tucked just behind the heating coils. My toaster was filming me. But here's the part that really messed me up. When I pulled the thing apart, inside it wasn't just wires. There was a tiny SD card. Like a literal micro SD. I plugged it into my laptop. There were folders labeled breakfast, bathroom, sleep, what? I opened one. Footage of me brushing my teeth. From inside the mirror. Another one, me in bed just staring at my ceiling. I haven't even owned cameras like that. I live alone. I unplugged everything in my house. Router, lights, fridge, everything. I shut off the power from the breaker. Total blackout. Sat in the dark for hours. Then, my phone buzzed. New notification. Your toast is ready. My phone wasn't connected to anything. No Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi. I turned it off. Turned it all off. I've been staying in a motel for 5 days now. I brought nothing with me. No electronics, no ID. I paid cash. But today, I got a letter. Slipped under my door. No return address. Inside, a photo. Me, in the motel, sleeping. On the back, someone wrote, "You left the toaster on." Okay, look, obviously that's exaggerated. I mean, I hope it is. But still, something about smart toasters and secret folders called sleep kind of makes you want to tape over your webcam, huh? All right, let's keep it moving. All right, I've waited long enough to share this. I tried to keep it in. I told myself, no one needs to know. But I can't take it anymore. So here it is, the full, uncensored, absolutely real and slightly traumatizing story of how I ruined my cousin's wedding. With a goat and a bucket of mayonnaise. Let's begin. My cousin Emily was getting married. She's one of those Pinterest wedding girls, like every napkin had a theme, the mason jars had ribbons that matched the groomsmen's shoelaces, and there was an entire wall made of cupcakes shaped like their initials. I was not invited to help plan this wedding. For good reason. I once tried to order pizza to a funeral. I thought it would lighten the mood. It didn't. But somehow, for this wedding, I was invited as a groomsman. Probably because they didn't want to leave me unsupervised. Now, the wedding was being held at this rustic, country chic venue. Basically a fancy barn with mood lighting and cows that wore flower crowns. Seriously. And here's where it all went downhill. See, Uncle Carl, Emily's dad, is a wild card. He's the kind of guy who thinks duct tape is a personality trait. He once built a working leaf blower using parts from a vacuum cleaner and a used air fryer. Anyway, Uncle Carl was in charge of transportation. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. But he was. So he shows up with this giant rented trailer, the kind used for livestock, and says, "We're getting rustic, baby. Bridal party's arriving in style." And by style, he meant standing in hay, while clinging to the sides like we were about to be smuggled across a border. Now remember, it's July. It's 102 degrees. The trailer smells like goat pee, because there's a goat in the trailer. Her name's Pancake, Uncle Carl says. She's a wedding gift. I don't know what that means. I don't ask questions anymore when it comes to Carl. I just accept and pray. Anyway, we all climb in. Me, the groomsman, Pancake the goat, and Uncle Carl driving like he's auditioning for Fast Furious, Farm Edition. We hit a bump. The goat screams. Did you know goats scream like humans? Because I didn't. Not until that exact moment. The trailer door wasn't fully latched. The bump opened it. And just like that, I was airborne. Me, in a tuxedo, flying out the back of a livestock trailer, followed by a screaming goat. I landed in a bush. The goat landed on top of me. We locked eyes. Something passed between us. Not love, not hate, just, mutual confusion. Meanwhile, the trailer kept going. No one noticed we were gone. I had no phone, no wallet, just a goat, a dislocated dignity, and a bush full of ants. So I did what any normal person would do. I stole a child's scooter from a nearby front yard, hoisted Pancake into a red wagon, and started rolling toward the venue like some kind of broke Disney princess. It took 2 hours. At one point, I was chased by a duck. I still have no idea where the duck came from. Finally, I arrive. Disheveled, bleeding slightly, goat screaming, and I roll in just as they're about to say, "I do." Everyone turns. It goes dead silent. Emily sees me. Her eyes go wide. She whispers, "What the fiff?" I try to say something cool like, "The goat has arrived." But all I manage is mayonnaise. Why mayonnaise? Because at some point during the scooter ride, I panicked and stopped at a gas station. I didn't know what to buy, but I thought, wedding gift, and grabbed the first thing on the shelf. It was a bucket of mayonnaise. I don't know why I still had it in my hand, but there I was, standing in the middle of a wedding, holding a bucket of mayo, with a goat tied to my ankle. I blacked out after that, not literally, just mentally. I think my brain couldn't process the absurdity. I came to during the reception. The goat had eaten most of the cupcake wall. Uncle Carl was doing the worm on the dance floor. Someone was crying into a plate of deviled eggs. Emily won't talk to me. Her new husband said it was the most memorable wedding he's ever seen. I now get tagged in every single goat-related meme online. And yes, Pancake lives with me now. We're roommates. She's fine. I'm mostly fine. But if I ever hear the word rustic again, I'm running full speed in the opposite direction. I don't know what's wilder, the goat, the mayonnaise, or Uncle Carl. Anyway, next story. I never used to believe in places that could be wrong. You know, those towns people just don't go to. The ones where the gas station clerk stares too long, where every street feels a little too quiet, where the air hums like a broken fridge and the shadows move just slightly out of sync. I thought that was just internet stories, creepy fiction, until we took that shortcut. It was supposed to be a 3-hour drive. My girlfriend Jess and I were visiting her parents for the weekend. Small mountain town, middle of nowhere. We left after work, sunset behind us, GPS glowing like a second sun in the dashboard. About an hour in, traffic hit, standstill. Construction lights flashing, rows of brake lights ahead. Want to try a back road? I asked. Jess shrugged. Sure, if your horror movie brain thinks it's safe. I laughed. Pulled up a detour. It wasn't even that sketchy. Just a little side route the GPS marked as unverified. It cut through a town I'd never heard of, Danwick, and reconnected with the highway 40 miles later. So we turned, and I wish to God we hadn't. The road narrowed almost immediately. Trees pressed in on both sides. No streetlights, no signs, just darkness and the occasional crunch of gravel under the tires. It's just rural, I told Jess. Totally normal. She didn't answer. 10 minutes in, we passed a sign. Hand-painted, hanging crooked from a wooden post. Welcome to Danwick. Stay a while. I slowed down. Something about it didn't sit right. Jess leaned closer to the window. Is that blood? I didn't answer. We kept driving. The town appeared like a bruise, sudden and spreading. Houses stood too far apart, their windows dark, shutters askew. One had its front door missing entirely. Another had a rocking chair that swayed slowly, even though there was no wind. Why is it so quiet? Jess whispered. I didn't know. Even the engine felt muffled. We passed what might have been a church. No cross, just a spire that leaned slightly to the left, like it was listening. A single light flickered inside. Just keep going, Jess said. So I did. Until the GPS blinked out. 1 second it was there, glowing blue calm voice saying, in 5 miles, turn left. The next, black screen. Dead. Battery? I asked. Jess held up her phone. Full charge. No signal. The car clock reset to 12 Mai. Okay, I said, trying to sound normal. Okay, we'll just keep heading straight until we see another sign. Maybe it'll reconnect. She nodded, but her hands were tight in her lap. That's when we saw the girl, standing at the edge of the road, facing away. Pale dress, long black hair, completely still. Is she okay? Jess asked. I slowed down, rolled the window down an inch. Hey! She turned. Her eyes were pure white, not cloudy, not blind, just white. No iris, no pupil. Her mouth opened slowly, like she was about to scream. And then she vanished. Not walked away. Not ducked, just blinked out. Jess screamed. I hit the gas. We didn't stop for another 5 minutes. When we did, it was only because we had to. The road ended, just stopped. Pavement turned to cracked dirt, then to grass. In front of us, an open field. And in the field, people. Dozens of them, standing perfectly still, all facing away. None of them moved. Reverse, Jess whispered. I tried. The gear shift wouldn't budge. I turned the wheel, locked. The engine cut. We need to run. What if they hear us? What if they don't? We got out, slowly, left the doors open, My keys were cold in my hand. The air felt thick, like breathing through cotton. We walked backwards, away from the crowd, toward the trees, and then one of them turned. His face, it wasn't a face, it was blank, like skin stretched over something hollow. No eyes, no mouth, no nose, just smooth, featureless skin. And then another turned, and another. They all began to walk, not fast, just steady, toward us. Jess grabbed my hand. "Don't look away," she said. "If you look away, they get closer." "How do you know?" "I don't." We kept walking backward. My calves ached. My lungs burned. I blinked. One of them was 3 feet closer. I blinked again. I felt breath on my neck. We ran into the trees. Branches slapped at our faces. The forest was too quiet. No insects, no owls, just the crunch of leaves under our feet and the soft, slow steps behind us. We ran until we couldn't, until the forest opened again. A house. Old. 2 stories. Lights off. Door slightly open. I didn't care. We rushed inside, slammed the door, locked it. Everything went silent. Jess collapsed against the wall. I leaned on the door, panting. "What the F was that?" I whispered. "I don't know." The house groaned. Floorboards shifted. A voice, soft, from the upstairs hallway. "You shouldn't have come here." We froze. I looked up the stairs. A figure stood there, pale skin, eyes like the girl's, wearing my shirt. "What the hell?" I whispered. Jess grabbed my arm. "That's not you." "No, Shti." The thing tilted its head. "You need to go back to the road." "What road?" I shouted. "The road you missed." It stepped forward and vanished. Again, not walking, just gone. We left. Didn't care where. We ran into the trees again. Just ran, for what felt like hours, until we hit pavement, a road, freshly painted lines, a street lamp, a gas station in the distance. I checked my phone. Signal. 4G. Jess broke down crying. We never found the car, never found Danwick on a map. GPS history, gone. I still dream of the field, of the blank faces, of my own voice whispering from the trees. "You shouldn't have come here." Okay. Nope. Just nope. I don't care if it's real or made up. The second your GPS dies and the town has a sign that says, "Stay a while," you leave. You leave and you never look back. All right? One last story for tonight. So I think my neighbour is a vending machine. Not has a vending machine. Not works with vending machines. I mean, I think my neighbour is a vending machine. Let me explain. I moved into this new apartment complex 3 months ago. Pretty chill place. 3rd floor, corner unit, decent light, weird plumbing. You know, the usual. First 2 weeks, totally normal. Until I noticed something off about apartment 3B. The door never opened. No one came in, no one came out. But late at night, like 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear it. That clunk. You know the sound. That exact noise when a vending machine drops something. Clunk. Pause. Whir. Then silence. I thought maybe someone kept a vending machine inside their apartment. Weird, but not illegal. I even joked about it with the guy across the hall. He just nodded and went, "Yeah, that makes sense." Wait, what? I didn't think much of it. Until one night, I was coming back from work late and saw someone standing outside 3B. A guy, hoodie, jeans, just standing, facing the door. I said, "Hey, you good?" He didn't turn, didn't move. He just held out a crumpled dollar bill and slid it under the door. I waited. A beat. Then, clunk. He bent down, picked something up, nodded to the door, and left. I swear to you, I heard a faint robotic voice go, Thank you for your purchase. I couldn't sleep. The next day, I knocked on the door. Nothing. I slipped a note under it. Hi, I'm your neighbour. Want to grab coffee sometime? That night, 2:17 a.m., I heard the clunk. I went to my door, opened it slowly. On the floor in front of 3B, a single can of Diet Dr. Pepper. No note. I haven't drunk it. I won't. A week later, my landlord came around doing routine checks. I casually asked, "Hey, what's the deal with 3B?" He blinked. "We don't have a 3B?" I stared at him. "Yes, you do. It's between 3A and 3C, literally right there." He frowned. "That door's not connected to anything, just drywall behind it." He showed me the blueprint. Nothing. 3A, wall, 3C. I asked if we could open it. He said, "If you want to break a broom handle, go ahead." That night, I knocked again. Nothing. I slid a 5 bill under the door, just to see. 10 seconds later, clunk, I bent down. On the floor, a cold can of Mountain Dew, a small pack of almonds, and a sticker that said, "Try again." I have no words. Since then, I've experimented. I tried different bills. One gives me a random soda. 2 chips. Once I slid a 20 under there. I got a full-size frozen pizza, an LED flashlight, and a sticker of Nicolas Cage's face. I asked around. The guy in 3C said, "I get all my groceries from 3B, cheaper than Amazon." I asked if he's ever seen who lives there. He said, "Lives?" and just walked away. The mail never comes for 3B, no Amazon packages. But every so often, I'll see random people walk up to the door like it's normal. Slide in cash. Wait. Clunk. Leave. One time, a little girl left a drawing under the door. Next morning, taped to the wall, was the same drawing, perfectly redrawn in digital style, like some AI rendering. Okay, so here's where it gets worse. Last Thursday, I came home to find a small white box in front of my door. No label, no address. Just a sticky note. From 3B, thanks for being curious. Inside, a single key, and a note that said, "When ready, insert key into slot." What slot? I held the key for hours. Then I noticed it. Under the 3B door, where people slide their money, there's a tiny square panel to the right. I'd never seen it before. Same metal as the frame, almost invisible. I inserted the key, click, the door shifted, not opened, more like it folded inward. Behind it, not a room, a tunnel, metallic, dimly lit. Vending machine sounds echoed from below. I didn't go in. I closed it, locked it. I slid the key back under the door. It disappeared instantly. I haven't heard a clunk since. And that was the last one for tonight. I mean, seriously, a vending machine neighbour, a goat at a wedding. This was hands down the weirdest collection I've ever put together. But hey, if you liked it, let me know. Drop a comment, hit the like, and I'll see you in the next one.